Hey, and welcome back to our deep dive series.
Great to be here.
So, if you're tuning in, you probably know that feeling, right? Facing that mountain of English vocabulary for the postgraduate exams, it can be a lot.
It definitely can. That feeling is pretty common.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you feel that. Today, we're pushing forward specifically into day 27, part 2 of your study materials.
We've got, 25 key words on the list for today?
That's right, 25. And look, this isn't going to be just reading definitions. We really want to get into how these words actually work, especially in those academic contexts you'll encounter.
Exactly. The goal is more like natural acquisition, understanding the words in context, seeing how they connect, almost like you'd pick them up in your native language.
Less memorizing lists, more building understanding.
Precisely. Building that network, that feel for the word.
Okay then, let's jump right in. We're kicking things off with words related to the root stent, or astant.
Yeah.
First one is constant.
Right. Constant, meaning unchanging or continuous.
Like the example, the old buildings are in constant need of repair. It really gives you that sense of something ongoing. It never stops, does it?
Exactly. The need is persistent. It's always there. And think about that exam example.
Oh yeah, the one about vanity.
Vanity is a constant. People will only start shopping more sustainably when they can't afford not to. It frames vanity as this fundamental human thing that's always influencing us.
Until something stronger, like money, pushes back. So it's this persistent drive.
Yeah, and it's not just about shopping, right? That underlying desire for recognition, for status, it drives a lot of things, ambition, maybe even innovation in some ways.
Interesting. That's a much broader way to think about it.
Yeah.
And the adverb is constantly. Pretty straightforward if it's constant. It happens constantly.
Makes sense.
Okay, next. Instant. Now, this one can mean like a really short moment, or it can mean immediate.
Right. Two slightly different flavors of quick.
We've got people today seem to want instant gratification, wanting things now.
We can probably all relate to that a bit.
And then, I'll be back in an instant, meaning super quick return. You feel the difference in scale there.
Definitely. Context is key. Is it a fleeting moment, or is it about immediate results? That pressure for quick results is, everywhere now, maybe even in exam prep.
Maybe so. And the adverb, instantly. Some people told the truth instantly, just straight away.
Yeah. And the everyday example, instant coffee, quick fix.
Right, that helps ground it. Okay, then there's instantaneous. This also means immediate, but it feels sharper, more sudden.
I think so. It really emphasizes the lack of any delay, like zero pause.
The example is, his hospitality was instantaneous and all-embracing. Like the welcome just appeared, fully formed.
Exactly. It's like, bam, it happened. Complete and immediate. Think of an instantaneous reaction versus maybe an instant reply. The reaction feels faster, more automatic.
Okay, yeah, that distinction helps.
Yeah.
All right, moving to distant. This one's got layers. Far away physically, obviously.
Like the stars. The stars are more distant from the Earth than the sun. Literal distance.
But also, different. Their life seemed utterly distant from his own. Not physically far, but just separate worlds.
Yeah, a figurative distance, a lack of connection or shared experience. And there's a third sense, too, sort of emotionally cold or reserved.
Oh, right, like a distant relative you don't really know well?
Exactly. So you have literal distance, figurative difference, and emotional coolness. And the noun distance covers all those bases, too.
Okay, let's look at withstand. That's a verb meaning to resist or endure something tough.
Holding up against pressure or damage.
Like the flooring needs to be tough enough to withstand wear. It has to resist getting worn out.
Makes sense.
And the exam example is pretty cool. Even though humans have been upright for millions of years, our feet and back continue to struggle and cannot easily withstand repeated strain.
Yeah, that's fascinating, isn't it? It shows how even after ages of evolution, our bodies still have these inherent challenges in enduring certain stresses. Bipedalism isn't perfectly optimized, you know?
So our bodies are literally trying to withstand the way we walk. Gives my back pain some context.
Exactly. It's about biological trade-offs and limitations. It's not just a human thing either. You see similar concepts in engineering, even social systems.
Wow. Okay, last one in this group. Withhold. To refuse to give something.
Pretty straightforward. You can withhold tangible things like pay.
Right, withholding pay, not giving the money owed.
Or intangible things like information, withholding information from the police.
So keeping something back deliberately.
Exactly.
All right, let's switch gears. Steady. First one is substance.
Okay, substance. As a noun, it can mean the physical material of something.
But also the main point, right? The essence.
Yes, exactly. Like in the example, the real substance of the report was in the third part. That's the core message, the important bit.
The essential stuff.
Right. And that leads to the adjective substantial, meaning significant, large, solid.
Like the exam example. A substantial part of executive pay is now tied to performance.
Meaning, it's not just a tiny fraction. It's a significant, meaningful amount. It carries weight. You might also hear about a substantial body of evidence in research.
Right, implying importance. Okay, then steady. Adjective.
Yeah.
Stable, constant, continuous.
Yeah, suggesting a lack of big fluctuations. Consistent.
The castle receives a steady stream of visitors, like a continuous flow.
Or, we are making slow but steady progress, consistent movement forward, even if it's not fast.
That links nicely to stable, doesn't it? Also an adjective, meaning firm, unlikely to change.
Very related. You can have a literally stable table, one that doesn't wobble.
Or a figuratively stable relationship. Secure, consistent.
Exactly. And the noun is stability, that state of being firm and steady.
Got it. Then we have the verb establish. This one has a few meanings.
Yeah, it's quite versatile. You can establish something concrete, like set up a school or a conference, found it.
But you can also establish something less tangible, like establish a reputation.
Yeah.
Gain acceptance for it.
Right. Or even establish something through proof, like establishing the facts of a case. The core idea is bringing something into being or making it secure and accepted.
And the noun establishment.
Can be the act of establishing the establishment of the college, or it can refer to an existing institution itself, like the medical establishment.
Okay. And last in this steady group, stadium.
Stadium. Noun. A sports arena, basically.
Simple one. Floodlights illuminated the stadium. Easy to picture.
Yep. A large venue for sports or big events.
All right, next up. Words related to audi, which is about hearing. First, audience.
The listeners, the spectators, the people paying attention.
Like the museum is trying to attract a wider audience,
Data.
trying to reach more people.
And the exam example brings up a really key point about audiences.
The one about the nurses' convention.
Yeah. The story worked well because the audience shared the same view of doctors. They had a common ground, a shared perspective.
So the shared understanding was crucial for the story to land.
Absolutely. And that's vital in academic work too, right? You have to consider your audience. What do they already know? What are their perspectives? Otherwise, your message might not get through no matter how good your argument is.
That's a really good point. Knowing your academic audience is key. Okay, then auditorium.
Noun. Usually a large hall or the seating area within it designed for listening and watching.
Like in a school or a theater. New building including an auditorium.
Yep, for lectures, performances, that kind of thing.
Okay, next set is around identical, meaning exactly the same.
No difference at all. Like, these two models are absolutely identical.
Or, this is the identical room we stayed in last year. Complete sameness.
Right, which leads to identity. Now, this noun can mean who someone is, their unique characteristics.
Like keeping identity secret.
Exactly. But it can also mean sameness or unity, like the identity of interests between groups, suggesting they share the same goals.
Oh, interesting. Two different angles on identity. And of course, identity card, ID card. Proof of who you are.
Common one. Then the verb identify. To recognize or confirm who or what something is.
I could identify him easily if I saw him again. Recognizing him.
Or it can be about showing something, like clothes identifying social class. The clothes reveal or show the class.
So recognizing or showing, got it.
Yeah.
And related are identifiable, able to be identified, and identification, the act of identifying or the proof itself.
Correct.
Okay, how about words similar to census, which is a population survey?
Right, census. The example notes it's beneficial to ordinary citizens and the nation. Provides that vital demographic data for planning.
Super important data. And a similar sounding word is consensus.
Consensus. This means general agreement or shared opinion.
Like the consensus among economists is what most of them agree on.
Exactly. Or a growing consensus on an issue, meaning more and more people are starting to agree. But, consensus isn't always the end goal in research, is it?
What do you mean? Like it could stop people from questioning things.
Precisely. If everyone agrees too quickly, it might stifle new ideas or critical thinking. Sometimes challenging the consensus is where progress happens. Keep that critical inquiry going.
Good point. Don't just accept the consensus blindly. Okay, next group. Words around compromise. First, compromise itself. This one has two key meanings.
It does. First, it can be reaching an agreement where both sides give a little ground, a middle way.
Like the example, he did not compromise easily, but was willing to accept constructive advice. He wasn't easily swayed, but could find common ground.
Right. But the second meaning is quite different: to endanger or damage something valuable.
Like the scandal compromised his political career. It put his career at risk.
Exactly. So context is crucial to know if it's about agreement or about risk damage.
Definitely need to watch out for that. Then there's comprise. Similar spelling, different meaning.
Totally different. Comprise means to include or be made up of, to consist of.
The main labor force is comprised of students working part-time, meaning the students make up the labor force.
Yes. The parts comprise the whole. Or the collection comprises 327 paintings. Those paintings constitute the entire collection.
Got it. The listed items of the thing. And last in this little group, premise.
Premise, a noun meaning an assumption, or the basic idea that something is based on.
Like, the research project is based on the premise stated earlier. It's the starting point, the foundation for the argument.
Exactly. It's that underlying belief or statement you build upon. Super important to state your premises clearly in academic writing.
Makes sense. Okay, moving towards the end here. Next theme is a cooperation. First, the verb cooperate.
To work together to assist each other.
People must cooperate and work toward common goals. Teamwork is essential.
Absolutely. And the noun is cooperation, adjective cooperative. That example is interesting.
About guilt.
Yeah, guilt can help hold a cooperative species together, suggesting even negative emotions can, like, reinforce group behavior and teamwork.
Wow. Guilt as social glue. That's a thought.
It is. Then there's collaborate. Also means working together.
How is it different from cooperate?
Good question. Collaborate often implies a more active, maybe more equal partnership, especially on creative or intellectual tasks, like collaborate in writing her biography, a joint effort.
So maybe you cooperate by following instructions, but you collaborate by jointly creating something new.
That's a good way to put it. Collaboration often suggests a deeper level of shared input and creation.
Okay, helpful distinction. Last group. Words ending in ate. First, elaborate.
This can be an adjective or a verb.
As an adjective.
Meaning detailed, complex, carefully made, like an elaborate pattern on the ceiling. Lots of intricate detail.
Okay, and as a verb.
To explain something in more detail or to develop something carefully, she went on to elaborate her argument, meaning she added more detail and explanation.
Got it. Add detail. And our final word for today, articulate.
Another one that's both an adjective and a verb. As an adjective, it means able to express oneself clearly and effectively.
Like unusually articulate for a 10-year-old. Speaks very clearly for their age.
Exactly. And as a verb, articulate means to say or express something clearly. Put it into words.
The example was about music. Difficulty articulating reactions to music.
Not grasping the music itself. This highlights that sometimes we understand or feel things deeply, but finding the right words is hard. Language has limits.
Yeah. Just because you can't easily say how you feel about music doesn't mean you don't get it on another level.
Precisely. There are different ways of knowing and understanding, but of course, in academic work, being articulate, expressing ideas clearly is obviously really important.
Absolutely crucial. Whew. Okay, that's our 25 words from Day 27, Part 2.
We covered quite a bit. The don't stand words, the steady group, adisent, identical, census and consensus, compromise and its cousins, cooperate, collaborate, and those 8 words.
Hopefully really digging into the context and the nuances like this helps you feel the words more, not just memorize.
That's the idea. Keep seeing them in action, especially in your reading. Notice how they're used. Try using them yourself.
Definitely go back to your Day 27 Part 2 materials now, maybe with some fresh eyes. And hey, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, drop a comment, share your own examples, or if you have questions about these words, let us know.
Let's keep learning together. Thanks so much for diving deep with us today.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. How does really getting these kinds of academic words, understanding their nuances, how does that not just help with exams, but also change how you engage with complex ideas in your field? How does it empower you to contribute? Something to ponder.